What if the reason you feel stuck isn't because of a lack of discipline, but a framework that was never designed for your life in mind? You wake up late, you scroll for hours, you feel guilty. You make promises to yourself because you think that today is different. But it's not. Here's the truth. It's not your fault, it's your framework. When I started college, I was studying for 10 plus hours a day and retaining almost none of it. And it wasn't because of a lack of effort or care. I simply didn't know how to make my life work for me instead of against me. So I designed something called the nesting doll framework. This is a way to understand 5 pillars of behavioral design: prioritization, behaviors, habits, routines, and systems. Now, just like a nesting doll, this framework stacks with each layer on top of the next. And if one layer is off, nothing stacks properly. So it's crucial to get it right the first time. Let's explore each of these pillars and how to design them intentionally. And hi, my name's Christina. Welcome to the channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been here before. I make videos for curious minds who want to live intentional lives. So with that said, let's get back to today's episode. And if you find value in anything I say today, please like and subscribe down below. So what is prioritization exactly? It's the filter through which we decide where we're going to invest our most valuable resources, our time, energy, and attention. These are things we can never get back, so it's crucial that we put them in the right places. Without this filter, life feels chaotic, overwhelming, and often we look busy, but we're not being productive. But when you know what matters most and you stop chasing distractions, you start making progress. Like blinders on a racehorse, prioritization is not meant to limit you, but to focus you. Start here. Start with prioritization. Figure out what matters most to you specifically, and then build all of the other layers around that. Next up on this framework is behaviors. What is a behavior exactly? A behavior is an action that's triggered by certain stimulus. This can be our environment, our emotions, or even the time of day. Tell me if this story feels familiar. You feel stressed and then you pick up your phone. That is a behavior. You're getting the stimulus of anxiety or discomfort in your situation or environment and picking up your phone. You're seeking something to ease that discomfort. See, our brain loves patterns, so it's constantly scanning for cues and matching them with our past responses. This is called the cue behavior reward loop, and it's powered by dopamine, our brain's motivation chemical. But a common misconception is dopamine is our reward chemical, but actually it's our motivation chemical. Dopamine doesn't spike when you achieve something. It spikes when your brain anticipates something meaningful is about to happen. So when behaviors lead to a reward, even if it's just a temporary one, our brain starts reinforcing this, and that's how behaviors become habits. And that leads us to the next pillar, habits. Habits are behaviors that are repeated so many times that they become automatic. Good or bad, habits shape who we become, and they reside in the part of the brain called the basal ganglia. This is the section responsible for muscle memory. That's why bad habits feel so hard to break. Our brains are conserving energy, so we're kind of on autopilot. How do we build better ones then? Well, we start with identity-first habits. James Clear talks about a concept of building habits based off of who we want to become. Instead of the action of I would like to do X or I would like to do Y, it's who do I want to be? So if you want to become someone who's athletic, think about what an athletic person does. Deconstruct what actions they take daily and turn those into your habits. Because if you view yourself as a writer or an author, then you'll write even when it's difficult because you don't want to go against how you view yourself. Your brain wants to stay consistent with how it views itself. So when you build habits that support that identity, good or bad, they tend to stick. And over time, they'll reinforce that identity that built them in the first place. If habits are a single action, then think of a routine like a cluster of habits. Routines give our life rhythm. They decrease decision fatigue, increase predictability, and offer stability even when life feels chaotic and overwhelming. Since routines are mostly made up of habits, they can be consciously designed or unconsciously adopted, which leads us to the largest doll of all, systems. Systems encapsulate everything that we just talked about and so much more. A system is how we operate our lives. From the priorities that we have, our behaviors, our habits, and our routines, to how we manage our friendships, our health, and how we approach our daily lives. You already have a system, but the real question is it helping you grow, or is it silently reinforcing the negative patterns that you're trying to escape? Let's compare two versions of this framework in action with Mary and Jane. Mary, she didn't really build her system. It kind of just happens every day, I guess. And then Jane, she designed who she wanted to be and built her life backwards from that end goal. Jane designs her system with clarity. Jane utilizes a technique called habit stacking, making her mornings much smoother. She knows exactly what she wants, so she designed a simple and consistent routine. She wakes up, makes her bed, brushes her teeth, grabs some water, and goes outside. Chills in the sunlight for a little bit, and if it's wintertime, she'll sit by a window. But it's simple enough that she can repeat it every single morning. This technique, habit stacking, what is it exactly? Habit stacking means linking pre-existing habits to a new one, so one naturally leads to the next. Think of it like dominoes almost. One falls over, and then they all fall over. Mary also habit stacks, but unintentionally. See, her nights consist of kind of devolving downwards into a spiral of 3 a.m. scroll sessions and wondering why she's tired the next day. Her late night scrolling always leads to groggy mornings, skipped routines, and broken promises, leaving her feeling kind of empty, a little bit disappointed in herself, and very frustrated. One unconscious habit triggers the next, and so forth, till her entire day just feels reactive. See, I've been Mary, you've been Mary, everyone has, and it's miserable. So figuring out a way to get out and break this cycle is crucial. The truth is, we all habit stack. The only difference is some people design this intentionally and others kind of just fall into it. Mary wants to change, but she has no strategy or framework. What sets them apart? It's not intelligence, it's not discipline, it's not motivation, it's design. We've all had Mary moments, but we can learn to live more like Jane. That leads us to environmental design. Want to stretch more? Lay out the mat the night before. If you want to start journaling more, have a notebook that's easy to access and start small. Friction matters. Make good habits easier and bad habits harder. Fail-safes are crucial to making all of this change work for your life. Your system shouldn't collapse when life gets messy. If anything, it should hold you up when life gets hard. Didn't sleep well? Just simplify your morning routine down to drinking some water and walking outside and say you completed it. If you missed your study session, try and put in 15 to 20 minutes instead of doing nothing. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about having a way to begin again. Imperfect consistency outperforms short bursts of perfection over a long period of time. Every time. That brings us to the plateau of latent potential. Now, what exactly is the plateau of latent potential, you may ask? There's a stage where you're doing it all right, and still you're not seeing any results, which is highly frustrating. James Clear calls it the plateau of latent potential. It's like heating an ice cube from 25 degrees to 31. Nothing seems to happen until 32 degrees. It melts. All the change happens underneath the surface. In neuroscience, this is called synaptic reinforcement. Your brain is literally rewiring itself. So this takes time. The message, if it feels like nothing's working, keep going. You're not behind, your results are compounding. Why does the nesting doll framework even matter? These aren't just productivity hacks. They shape how we think, move, act, and work. So how does the system impact our mental health? Without a system, our brain burns out on small decisions. What now and where do I start? This is called decision fatigue, but a simple routine can calm this chaos. They shift you from constantly reacting to quiet execution. As Greg McKeown puts it in his book Essentialism, routine is one of the most powerful tools for removing obstacles. And next is our emotional health. Your emotions rest on one single question: can I trust myself? Every time you follow through, you make a vote for the person that you're choosing to become. Not perfection, but congruency. And that consistency builds internal peace. Next up is physical health. Our bodies crave rhythm more than intensity. When you go to bed at the same time, your circadian rhythm is able to stabilize. When you eat foods that nourish your body, you have energy throughout the day. And when you move consistently, you're able to increase your physical capabilities. You'll build systems that heal you instead of hurting you. As Daniel Z. Lieberman, sorry if I'm butchering that, and Michael E. Long write in The Molecule of More, true satisfaction comes from the here and now chemicals, like serotonin and oxytocin. Productivity is the next section. Productivity isn't about doing more, It's about doing what matters. Without a clear system, say yes to everything and burn out so easily. But with the nesting doll framework, your energy aligns with your values. You stop reacting and you start creating. And ironically, you end up getting more done, but not by force, by design. Everything that I've mentioned today happens whether you like it or not. You'll have habits, behaviors, routines, and systems. It's whether or not you consciously design them. So ask yourself, who are you becoming? And what would it take to change the course of your future? Choose one layer. Start with prioritization. Figure out what you want in life and go from there. Redesign it for the person that you're becoming, not who you're trying to escape. Until next time, stay curious, stay humble, and keep learning. Remember, consistency beats perfection every time. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.